I would like to share in this session here how LeapGreat dramatically reduces the risk, the effort, and the complexity of S/4HANA implementations.
So one dramatical experience, I would say, was that a go live has moved 6 months into the future. And one of the reasons was the data migration. So it was too late, and also the quality was insufficient. So the documentation was quite old, I would say, in the point of time at the go live. And this was quite hard to find a root cause. And so it happened that we lost a consulting colleague of us for a few hours in the middle of the night because he supported the customer then to unload the trucks.
So this is basically a backloaded system, a backloaded project where you're further down you are on the road. The cost of changing your design increases tremendously, while at the same time the ability to change your design really becomes very low. So instead of backloading such a project, how about we start a project with an implemented system? Equip the system with the data of your business, meaning when you show procurement processes, you have your materials, you are procuring this from your suppliers, you see your customers in there. Not all, maybe 5 customers, maybe 10, 20 materials, maybe 3 suppliers, that's good enough. When I say rapid build, then we talk about spinning off such a system within 1, maybe 2 weeks. So we recently were engaged with a company that ran a project for 9 months, and the implementer created a 400-page Word document describing how the future system will look like. The business people were absolutely overwhelmed. For some reason, the human being is more willing to add things instead of giving up things. Data migration, testing, once those processes are there, you can immediately start creating your test cases. And when you then continue to change other processes, you can always test the first processes you have already agreed on with the customer. So this is a manufacturer of pens. So you find your customers that are purchasing pens from this company. You find a few materials which are related to producing a pen, and you find the suppliers for this material. So try to find very early in the project what are the critical things, what are challenges, and you will have enough time to then adjust the system by that. What we do is we define the highest level end-to-end process, including feeding the SAP system with data, but also then feeding data into non-SAP systems. Data migration is one of the topics we try to allow to start very, very early. I think data migration and change management are often the 2 critical success factors for a project. So your question is, what is this version 0 system? Is that the final system, or is it just a sandbox? I mean, there is, I believe, a chance where you can have a case-by-case decision. So what we have seen works really good if you're open for a greenfield, but you might have a lot of things in your system which you don't want to lose. There are tons of tools out there that will help you in an implementation project, but it's for each project a very tough decision.
The whole story of start early really becomes very tangible here, because if we test already during the project, and if we test with test automation, because we have already the specifications of test cases being put together during the project, now we're setting the foundation for continuous innovation.
We have seen we can dramatically reduce the risk that the result at the end of a realization phase don't fit and don't meet the expectations of especially the business users. What I really want to get across is, while traditional projects have a huge challenge at the very end of the project, where in the realization phase, the reality becomes visible and the system appears very late, we can come in and help you with proposing you a system, which we know it's not perfect, but it's a great start to have a discussion not only on a conceptual level, but also hands-on in the system. By that, help everybody to imagine much easier how a future would look like when using SAP S/4HANA.